Welcome to the Mate Ready podcast, and I'm your host Daniel Tyndall. And this podcast we will be talking all things men, fatherhood, masculinity, leadership. Ultimately, how can we step up as better, healthier, more masculine men, fathers, and leaders? This is a really important topic in this day and age, and in this continued divided and divisive world. We need healthier, stronger men, more now than ever. We need men who are willing to do the work, to look into the mirror and take accountability, take responsibility for their growth, their development. And at Mate Ready, we believe that development looks like looking after the physical pillar, looking after our bodies, improving our mindset, how we think, our attitudes and beliefs, how we view life, improving our emotional intelligence, being able to feel. What are our social skills like? Do we have empathy, compassion for others, and faith, spirituality, connectedness? How connected do we feel to the world around us, to purpose, and to God? For me, this is how personal development looks. And at Mate Ready, we go through these different pillars, focusing on what habits can we change to improve our lives. How can we show up as men day by day better? And it's important for us to not just talk the talk, but to walk the walk. And that means, what are our daily habits? What do we do on a day by day basis that proves that we are the man we know we are? That proves to ourselves that we're not unaligned, out of integrity, and proves to the world around us that we are who we say we are. So, in this episode, I want to address this, the man in the mirror, and in particular, the 3 reasons why you might not be happy with that reflection looking back at you. And that first one that I'm going to address, number 1, is you don't know who you are. You don't know what your values are, what you stand for, what your beliefs are, where you're going in life. In this day and age, we get bombarded with information, we get bombarded with people's opinions, and we get bombarded with false news, false ideology, and we're getting peer pressured. We're getting pressured by media, coerced. And if we don't know who we are, it's very hard to be an unwavering pillar amongst the storm. It's very hard to keep that masculine direction, that masculine frame, if we don't actually know what we believe in. And if we want to be masculine men, we need to know who we are. We need to know what we believe in. We need to have the confidence to stand boldly against the chaos of the world, against lies, against deceit, against coercion. So what do you value? What do you believe? I encourage all men to put pen to paper and really find out what your core values are, who you are or who you're trying to be as a man. And this way we become more stable. We become more grounded and rooted in something. For me, on my path as a Christian, as a follower of Christ, I can look to his teachings and draw on that. And outside of that, I have a code. I have ideas. I have a moral compass that I know is true for me. And that helps me be confident in who I am, who I'm aspiring to be, who I need to be for my family, for my community, for the world around me. So number 2, you spend too much time comparing yourselves to other people online. We all spend too much time online. I do. Certainly. And we spend too much time comparing. Again, I'm guilty of this. The problem with social media is we're comparing the inside of our houses to the outside of other people's houses. We're comparing our messiness, our clutter, our chaos, the skeletons in our closets with the picture perfect outdoors of someone else's. We don't get to see what's going on in their heads. And this is The power of men's work, of sitting in circle, the work that I do and facilitate, I get men together and talk openly and honestly. And one of the things that people learn is when you're sat around in a circle and you're actually listening to another man, you're giving him space to share without judgment, without your opinion. You soon realize that all these men have commonalities. And you will listen to someone's stories and you'll be like, yeah, I've been through that, or I'm going through that, or probably you'll go through it at some time. See, yes, all our lives are unique and we all live our lives through our own perspective. They're all packaged differently, but often we go through similar stuff, but people don't talk about that because it's not sexy, it's not cool. So we just got to remember to stop comparing ourselves to the other people online who seemingly have all their shit together, because they don't. And they might do a little bit more than you, but they're sure as hell not showing their wobbles. They're not showing their fear, their insecurity, their feelings of shame. And I promise you they exist. I promise you. So stop comparing yourselves to other people, because while you're doing that, your inner critic is going wild. Your inner critic is saying, see, you don't have what it takes. You're not good enough. See? And it'll list out all these things you've been through to prove that you're not good enough to do whatever it is you're trying to achieve. And it's a lie. That inner critic needs reining in. And a way we can do that is stop comparing to other people online and reminding yourself, stop looking at the other people's houses. It's the outside. So that's number 2. Number 3, kind of the more obvious one when you look in the mirror, is if you've let your physical health go, you are not going to be happy. And I do question myself, and I have questioned myself with that before. My weight's fluctuated over the years, but I've always really believed in health and fitness. I really value it as a core pillar. I was a qualified personal trainer many years ago. Been doing martial arts for 18 years. Yes, it's a big, important part of my life. And I do think, are people genuinely happy who are overweight? Who tell me that actually they don't care about the way they look? And I am convinced it's a lie. Convinced it's a lie people tell themselves. Because I know how good it feels to have muscle definition, to be fit, to look good in the mirror, to fit in the clothes you want to wear, to not be self-conscious. I also know the opposite, and I can guarantee you your mental health, your confidence, everything, your performance, your energy levels, everything will be better if you lose some weight and gain some muscle and probably get some more sleep then. So have you allowed your physical pillar to drop? And part of that is protecting yourself and guarding yourself against vices and cravings and addictions. Our society is full of them, and ultimately it's my belief that the powers that be, the big corporations, all of that, they want you addicted to whatever it is they're selling, whether that's alcohol, nicotine, fast food, sugar, pornography, Netflix, gaming. These are all addictions, and in my opinion all of these things damage our health, our mental health, our confidence, and that masculine urge to get out and seize the day, to get out and seek adventure. If men are sedated through their war films and war games, through their fast food and their alcohol and their pornography, they don't have to leave the house for anything. And guess what? That makes a society of very weak men, very impotent men, and men that aren't going to stand up for what's right, who aren't going to stand up and lead. So how are we safeguarding ourselves against those vices and addictions? And what's actually going on in the mirror? When we look beneath the lies that we tell ourselves, it's okay, I'm quite happy getting drunk every weekend. Is that true? I personally know I gave up alcohol. It's come up to 7 years now. And the reason why so many people have a problem with other people giving up alcohol is because it holds up a mirror to their own actions. And yes, I'm probably on the sliding scale of addiction. I'm definitely, I'd make a really good alcoholic. However, I think for most people who go out every weekend and drink and overdrink, they probably know that their health would be much better if they didn't drink. In fact, most people I've spoken to who said, "Oh yeah, I've gave up alcohol for a month. That's the best I've ever felt." I'm like, okay, why are you drinking again then? And that's the work. That is what needs unpacking. If you know something's bad for you, do you lean in and address it, or do you hide? That's part of this work. And I guarantee if you get to the source of that, address it, you are going to like that man in the mirror a whole lot more. So those are my 3 things, those 3 areas that I really believe if men address, they're going to be a lot more confident. Knowing who you are, what your morals and values are, what you stand for is important. That does not mean you need to be polarized, argue with people on social media and be triggered and offended by everything. No. Healthy masculinity is about being grounded and confident. You do not have to go and scream and shout. You can just be like, it's okay. The more confident you are in your own beliefs and values, the more understanding and accepting you can be towards others. Number 2. It's number 2. Comparison. Comparison is the thief of joy. Do you, man? Do you? Just show up, get your head down, and keep doing you. Stop comparing. And number 3, protect yourself from addictions and vices. Address your health. Look after that physical pillar. Lose body fat, gain muscle. You're going to be way more confident. And you're going to like the person looking back in that reflection. Cool. That's it for this episode. This first episode of the Mate Ready podcast. I hope that's of value. I can't wait to bring more episodes. There's going to be a mixture of solo episodes. I'm going to have a co-host for some of them, and we're going to get some guest speakers on to unpack all these different things, these aspects of personal development, masculinity, fatherhood, and ultimately how we can be healthy masculine fathers and leaders. Until next time.